Machiavelli, the most misunderstood thinker in history, at least that's my point of view. When someone is described as manipulative, ruthless, or power hungry, one word often comes up: Machiavellian. For centuries, Niccolò Machiavelli has been portrayed as the man who taught rulers how to lie, deceive, and control people. Many consider him the father of political manipulation. But here's the question: was Machiavelli really the villain history made him out to be? Or was he simply one of the first people brave enough to describe power as it truly works? To answer that question, we need to travel back more than 500 years, back to Renaissance Italy. At the time, Italy was not a unified country. Instead, it was a collection of powerful city-states such as Florence, Venice, Milan, and Rome. These states were constantly competing for power. Alliances were formed and broken. Wars erupted regularly. Political betrayal was almost expected. And it was into this world that Niccolò Machiavelli was born in Florence in 1469. Unlike many philosophers, Machiavelli wasn't an academic locked away in a library. He worked directly in politics as a diplomat for the Florentine Republic. He traveled across Europe and met some of the most powerful figures of his time. He observed kings, generals, popes, and rulers up close. He witnessed how power was gained, and more importantly, how power was lost. One man in particular left a strong impression on him: Cesare Borgia. Borgia was ambitious, intelligent, charismatic, and ruthless. Many historians believe he became one of the inspirations behind Machiavelli's later writings on leadership and power. But just as Machiavelli's political career was flourishing, everything collapsed. In 1512, the powerful Medici family returned to power in Florence. The Republic fell. Machiavelli lost his position. Soon afterward, he was arrested, accused of conspiracy, and subjected to torture. Although eventually released, he was banished from political life. For a man whose entire identity revolved around politics, it was devastating. Exiled to the countryside, Machiavelli began writing, and it was there that he produced a book that would make him famous forever: The Prince. Today, The Prince is one of the most influential political books ever written, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. Many people assume that Machiavelli was teaching rulers how they should behave. In reality, he was describing how rulers actually behave. That distinction changed everything. Machiavelli wasn't writing about an ideal world, he was writing about the real one, a world filled with ambition, conflict, betrayal, and competition. One of his most famous questions was simple: is it better for a ruler to be loved or feared? His answer shocked generations: ideally, both. But if a leader must choose, it is safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love depends on loyalty, fear depends on consequences. Whether you agree with him or not, it was an observation drawn from years of political experience. Interestingly, the phrase most commonly associated with Machiavelli, "the ends justify the means," never actually happens in The Prince. Yet for centuries, people have treated it as a summary of his philosophy, and this is where the controversy begins. Was Machiavelli encouraging tyranny, or was he exposing uncomfortable truths about human nature and political power? Modern historians remain divided. Some view him as a dangerous thinker whose ideas help justify or fear and rule. Others see him as one of history's first political realists, a man who stripped away illusion and examined power as it truly exists. His influence continues to this day. Political leaders study him, business owners quote him, military strategists analyze him, even psychologists use his name. The term Machiavellism is now used to describe a personality focused on strategy, manipulation, and the pursuit of goals. More than 5 centuries after his death, Machiavelli remains one of the most discussed political thinkers in history. Very few writers have been praised, criticized, misunderstood, and debated as intensely as he has. So perhaps the real question isn't whether Machiavelli was good or evil. Perhaps the real question is this: when we read Machiavelli, are we learning about him, or are we learning uncomfortable truths about ourselves? And that may be exactly why his ideas still matter today.